Hello, everybody. It's Dana Sullivan, the Stampin' Chick, here with another Make It Monday. How are you today, my friends? I hope you had a fabulous weekend. I have seen that there are a few folks waiting for me to come on here, so hopefully everyone finds me okay. Let me just give it a second to see. Wow, I'm seeing some folks are coming on. Yay! Oh my gosh, this is exciting. Yay! Hello, everybody. How are you? Hi, Miss Luann. I see folks are coming in. As you come on in, say hello and let me know where you're from. I'd love to see where everybody is coming in from. And please feel free to share my live with other people too, because caring is sharing and we can have more fun when we're crafting with friends. Yay! Hi, Miss Lauren from Pennsylvania. That's so exciting. I hope that the weather is nice for you. Hi, Michelle. How are you, darling? Oh, I'm so glad that you're here, man. There are a lot of you in here so far. I am so excited. Yay! I have a super fun, beautiful little card to share with you today, and I'm excited because it's from a new collection of products that will be releasing very soon. And some of it is actually going to be carrying over to the new upcoming annual catalog, which is super exciting. Hi, Miss Sharon. Hello, darling. How are you? And how is Oklahoma? Hope all is going well for you. Oh my. Oh, I see the blooming poppy. Oh, Allie. Oh, from Whitman Air Force Base in Missouri. Hey, how's it going? Okay. Well, I believe it is just after 8 o'clock, and so I want to get started and not wait too terribly long, but I just enjoy everybody coming in, and oh gosh, to be able to say hello and see how everyone's doing. Oh, it's wonderful. So, I've been playing a lot. This weekend was actually pretty busy for me. My friend Wendy and I had our big Stampin' Escape Friday and Saturday, and we generally do it with the new catalog launch a couple of times a year, and it's always a really big, nice event. Hi, Miss Tracy. How are you, darling? And so I had a big spring all occasion Stamp-A-Stack a couple of weeks ago, and so it's been one big thing after another, so I'm kind of wound. But now that everything is finished and I'm back on track, I think, or at least playing catch up, I'm sure y'all know how that is. So I've had these products for several days, but as I said, I've been pretty busy, so I haven't been able to play with them until today. And so I thought that I would start off today's Make It Monday with one of the projects that I've made with it, and hopefully you guys will like it too. Hi, Miss Linda. Hi, Miss Carol. Oh, you just got in from Murfreesboro. Good, 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 good. I'm looking forward to seeing you again, darling. Okay, let's get to it, shall we? Today's project is featuring the Waves of Inspiration Stamp and Die Bundle, and as I mentioned, some of these products are going to be a sneak peek from the new upcoming annual catalog. So this Stamp and Die bundle happens to be something that's going to be in the catalog. So I'm really excited about it because, I mean, this is absolutely beautiful. And the dies are gorgeous, and I'm going to tell you, I am in love with the sentiments, especially this one. I already have the recipient in mind for this particular card, and she could use a bit of a pick-me-up. And, you know, sometimes things happen in life that we just don't understand, and they just really suck, to be quite honest. And there's not a single thing that anyone can say to make things better except that I'm here for you and I love you. So I want to remind my friend that she is stronger than she knows. So this is going to be a card for her. But we're going to be using the Waves of Inspiration Stampin' Die Bundle, and I want to share some more products that are included in this collection. Check out the absolutely beautiful Rhinestone Waves Basic Jewels. So there's, oh my gosh, Night of Navy, Pacific Point, Balmy Blue. I'm going to say that this is probably Pool Party. It could be Coastal Cabana. You know, that's kind of a tough one sometimes. Granny Apple Green, and then either Coastal Cabana or Bermuda Bay. So again, that's a little iffy there. But either way, the three colors would certainly work together with that. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. And as you can see, there are several different sizes. So we've got some big ones, we have medium ones, and then a lot of little ones. So this is a really, really pretty set of jewels. And these are going to be available very, very soon. And then, if that wasn't absolutely exciting enough, it contains foil paper. So pretty. Look at that. Super gorgeous. We have Pacific Point, Coastal Cabana, and a silver. And they're just absolutely stunning foil papers. So I'm going to be using a bit of that in this card. And then on top of that, there is also a designer series paper. So let me just bring that over here. Hi, Miss Lauren. Hi, Miss Kathy. How are you? And on one side of this paper is a lot of water. It actually kind of reminds me of the paint and blowing bubbles technique, right? To get all of these little bubbles of color here. So I'm excited to see if Stampin' Up! Will give us a little sneak peek video that they sometimes do to show us how they created this paper, right? Because if you didn't know, that's one of the things that Stampin' Up! Does. They design their own designer series papers. So this is paper that you will not find anywhere else, which is absolutely amazing. And it's always gorgeous paper. And they're concept artists that design this stuff. Man, they are so talented. It's just amazing. So on this side, we've got all of these little, waves and ocean and things like that. And then on the other side, beautiful, bright, and cheerful patterns. Love it, love it. Look at all of that. Oh, so gorgeous. I absolutely love it. This one in particular reminds me of the beach with the water coming in, right? Oh, so pretty. So pretty. Anyway, all right. So be on the lookout for these items when they go live. Now, if you're already a demonstrator, of course, you can order them now. And if you're not already a demonstrator, as it turns out, this is Celebration, and it's still going on for just a couple more weeks. And so you can actually get the starter kit, and you get $125 worth of product for only 99 bucks, and you get free shipping. And then on top of that, you get to choose 2 stamp sets that are in our current publications. So you can get this, what is this collection called, friends? It is, let's see. Let me grab the paper because the paper says Waves of the Ocean collection. You can get the Waves of the Ocean collection in your starter kit because you get to choose anything you want to. So you can get this amazing Stampin' Die bundle, the gorgeous gems, the designer paper, the foil, all of it. And you'll be able to get some extra stuff too, because that's not $125 worth of stuff. And then you'll also get to choose 2 stamp sets, which is absolutely amazing. So if you'd like to do that, you can visit my website, danasullivan.stampinup.net, or you can send me a message or leave a comment and say, hey, I want the ultimate bundle, and I will help you get set up, okay? Plus, you'll be able to get an automatic discount on all future purchases, and it's absolutely amazing. And then, you use it until you've got everything you want, and then a new catalog comes out and there's going to be more stuff you want. Hi, Miss Anna. How are you? Thank you so much for coming. Oh, hi, Kim. How are you, babe? Are you back home? Okay. All right. So now that I've given you my little salesy spiel, I'm going to go ahead and get started on our project, okay? Let me set this over here, and if you'd like to purchase anything, just remember that the products that I'm talking about here, the Waves of Inspiration or the Ocean Waves collection, it's not available for customers just yet. So if you're not a demonstrator, unfortunately, some of the stuff that I use tonight, you're not going to be able to purchase yet. However, you can still take advantage of Celebration if you'd like to place an order. For every $50 that you purchase, you can get something for free from the Celebration brochure. And you can use this host code right here, and you'll be entered to get another amazing, fabulous gift on top of all the goodies. So, with that in mind, let me tell you what you're going to need for this project. Okay, I'm using, of course, one of Stampin' Up's basic white envelopes, and I'll show you how I dress that up here in just a minute. I have a piece of Night of Navy cardstock that measures 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4.25 inches. And then I'm going to burnish on the score line, and that gives me my card base. So we have that, and this is going to be a landscape card today. We don't do those nearly often enough. And then I have a piece of the silver foil from the new blue foils collection, and you notice that I have the center cut out here for a couple of reasons. First of all, I've got another card project that I'm going to be sharing with you tomorrow. Maybe it'll be on my blog tomorrow. And it's using this piece that was die cut with the scalloped contours dies, but also because I hate wasting the foil papers, especially any of the specialty papers. When you're putting the layers together, there's all of this hidden real estate, right? Behind the designer series paper, you don't see any of it. So by cutting this piece out, I don't have to use any more of my foil paper, and you're not going to see this anyway. So by the time I put this piece on my card base, and this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, so I'm leaving just a tiny little border around, and then grab a 5" by 4 1/4" piece of the designer series paper. Then I can get, not 4 1/4, oh my gosh, 5 1/4 by 4". Goodness. Oh, Linda, you cut the middles out too. Yeah, there's no reason not to, because by the time you assemble it, absolutely no one is the wiser. I mean, look at that. You would never know. You can't feel, I've got these 2 layers together, and unless I'm really pressing and looking for it, there is no way I would ever know. So then I've got all of this extra silver foil paper that I'm using for something else. So it's a really good tip for being able to stretch your little package of foil paper, because there are generally only 2 sheets of the foil paper per package, and I really want to get my money's worth out of it, right? So we have that. Now, I've already die cut this, which is absolutely stunning, and it's cut from that darker, I'm going to say Pacific Point, but it could be Night of Navy, the foil paper from the pack, and that's going to go right over here, and just, gosh, that designer paper with that foil die cut is just absolutely gorgeous. I love it. And then I have a piece of basic white that's the standard layer, 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and this one is going to be for the inside of the card. So I'm going to set it aside with the envelope because I tend to use the same or a similar pattern on the inside layer and the envelope to kind of tie the two together. And for those of you who come here regularly or who know me, you know I always say no naked insides and no naked envelopes, right? So we want to make sure that we're dressing up the inside and the envelope because, I mean, when we're putting this much work into a beautiful card, why wouldn't we want to dress up the inside and the envelope too, right? Okay. All right, so now that I have this, I also have die cut one of the labels from the die set, and you know, this is just another example of why this Stampin' die set is absolutely amazing. There are 2 different labels in the die set, and both of them have the little holes in the ends that you can use to weave the ribbon through, which is what I've done here. Okay. And then I have a scrap of paper that I'm going to be stamping and die cutting 2 of these little little bits here. And I love that we've got this beautiful distinctive stamping thing going on. You can see all of the different shading and color. This was stamped in soft suede ink, and it's got just all of this beautiful shading and highlighting going on. So we're going to do a couple of those on this piece. That way, excuse me, that way we can put these layers here. Okay. Alrighty. And then I'm going to show you how I did this. But I have to give credit to my friend Tammy Wilson because if you know who she is a fellow demonstrator that does absolutely amazing bows. And at our retreat this weekend, she had come in and done a card sample for us and had shown how she does some of her bows. And, you know, she was talking about cutting some of the ribbons down the middle and things like that. And so I kind of went wild with it. And I don't normally do this, but it was just so much fun. I couldn't help myself. So I'm using, let's see if I can remember. This one comes in a 3-pack. And it actually includes this one and a green gingham, a Just Jade gingham ribbon. Any of my demo friends that are out there maybe can help me out with the name of it. Flowers for Everything, or, oh gosh. It's in the annual catalog. Anyway, I've got these 2 ribbons that I'm using, and then I'm using the white crinkle seam binding ribbon, and I'm also using that silver metallic mesh ribbon. And so I'm using all 4 of these, which is crazy. And I've cut them all up. So the only thing that's not cut up is the twine because it's so small already. But here are a couple of strips of the mesh ribbon. Flowers for Every Season. Thank you, Kim. Yes, that's exactly it. So I've got a couple of strips of the mesh ribbon here. And this right here is what was, anyway, the white crinkle seam binding ribbon. And I took the light Night of Navy Stampin' Blends marker and colored it before I, what do they call it? In wood cutting, I think they call it ripped when you go up the middle. So I ripped, I ripped this ribbon up the middle in half, and the same thing with the white one. And the silver mesh one I actually did in half, and then I did each half in half again because it's a really wide ribbon. And so as skinny as all of these others are, I thought it would be fine to do it in half and then in half again. And as it turns out, it worked out perfectly. So I thought that was really nice. And it's got a lot of just really interesting texture going on here with the ribbon. And, you know, I love doing bows, but I know that especially some of my hostess girls that are in here hate doing bows. But this is just a very simple knot, so it makes it really easy, and you still kind of get the same basic look as you do for ribbons, so or for bows. So anyway, that is how I've got that, and I have all of these here. This is approximately 18 inches long for each of the ribbons, and then like I said, I cut most of them in half long ways, so you'll be able to get 2 sets of ribbon from each set there. Okay, let me go ahead and stamp with soft suede ink. I'm gonna stamp, is that a herring? You know, I'm awful with birds sometimes. What is that bird? Somebody tell me. I think it's a herring. Anyway, I'm going to stamp this piece right here. And my scrap is actually just 1.25 inches wide. This stamp is really narrow. And I need 2 of these. Oh gosh, yes, of course it's a pelican. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Miss Lauren. Obviously, I don't do seabirds very often. I'm honestly not even sure where I got the idea of it being a herring. But anyway, I'm stamping 2 of those. Oh, goodness. Hi, Miss Cindy. How are you? Oh, ripped ribbon for bows and embellishments. Yes. You know, and actually that's something too, because if I can get just slightly off key with you, when I was watching Tammy's video over the weekend, I had grabbed a couple of ribbons that were close by and was kind of practicing while she was talking. And she had split the open weave ribbon. This is the polished pink open weave ribbon. And so I had cut this one because this is the one she used. And it looks so cute with the half widths. You know, this is really pretty. And then I thought, well, what about the real red, what is that, faux linen ribbon? So I started out by cutting it in half, but then it was doing this nice shredding thing as I was cutting. So by the time I got about to here, I thought, well, to heck with it. I'll just rip and see if it, you know, shreds like most cottons do. And look at that. It makes a really cool texture. So this is definitely something worth trying, and you can see the difference. Let me put them side by side here. One end is where it's been cut, and the other end is where it's been ripped, and it's a lot cooler texture being ripped. So there you go. There's another fun little tip for you. Central Indiana, 60 degrees today. Miss Cindy, that's wonderful. I'm not sure if we got that warm today here in East Tennessee or not. We generally get warm, but then we also, you know, I don't know. The weather right now is just really weird. Okay, so, you know, of course, through the magic of television and the internet and pre-prepping for things, I've already got these pre-die cut for us. Okay, I'm going to come back to my card here, and I'm going to start assembling some of this. So I want to go ahead and put this layer on, and I'm just using my Stampin' Seal. You can use whatever your favorite adhesive is. There's actually enough border after I've die cut the scalloped contour piece out of the middle. I can easily use my my adhesive runner. Oh, Miss Anna, 80 degrees in Florida. Holy cow. That's wonderful. I don't know. I always say that I would like it to be a sunny and 65 all year long. But if the breeze has to blow, then it needs to be more like 70 or 75. So no breeze, I want 65. Breeze, I want 75. How's that? Okay. All right, now I'm going to set this aside for just a moment. We're going to do a little bit more stamping. I want to stamp the sentiment on here, and I'm going to do that with the Night of Navy ink. So let me tap, 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 not smush, smush, smush. If you're new here, you'll hear that term often. For my regular girls, you know you hear it all the time. Now I'm going to try to lean over and center this without getting in the way. So I think somewhere in there. Oh, you moved from Ohio a year ago? Oh, closer to your parents now. You know, it's wonderful to be close to your parents. I live pretty much across country from mine, and you know, I miss them, especially during the holidays. Okay, now that I've got that stamped, and I really am kind of all over the place right now with this, so let me finish up my stamping, and then we'll be able to just do all of our assembly, okay? All right, so on the inside, I've put the pelican, and then on my envelope, I've put the pelican over here on the flap, and then also over here, but not before I stamped that beautiful splashing wave. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, gosh, I love it. Now, I will tell you that I have set mine up on the Stamparatus because this stamp is actually too big for the E-block, which is wild. I generally don't use anything big enough for the E-block as it is, let alone bigger. So you'd have to go with that really great big background block, which I think is absolutely crazy, and it's super huge and heavy. And so this is the perfect time to bring in the Stamparatus anyway. Okay, so I will put my envelope right up here, and I'm going to carefully move my magnets, and I want to line this up. Do you see how that just snatched it right up like that? That's why you got to be very careful with these magnets, because they are strong. Oh my goodness. All right, so if you can hear any scraping or scratching, it's my daughter's dog, my grand pup, is chewing on a bone underneath my feet because he has to be exactly where Gammy is. All right, I am taking Pacific Point ink, and when I looked at this paper, I can see some of the Night of Navy in here, but all of this bright blue is definitely Pacific Point. So I wanted to use Pacific Point for the wave, and so I've just put my stamp set underneath here to get it some stability on here, and then I'm tapping, tapping, tapping on the stamp, and then we'll just bring it right over, give it a good firm press. You know, I think that the mail folks like seeing these envelopes just as much as the recipients do. We have two different mail carriers. Both of them are women, and I've talked to each of them individually at various times, and they love seeing the cards and envelopes that come through. You know, they get these things put in my mailbox or pulling them out of my mailbox, and they get so excited. So, you know, I've got to leave a little something. Hey, stop. He's biting me now. Ouch. I've got to leave a little something fun for them in the mailbox now and then. Okay, now I'm going to bring in my scrap paper, and you know, this is kind of a running joke at this point because I have had this paper I don't even know how long, but I keep using it, and it's so inked up at this point. It's well seasoned. I don't know when I'll stop using it, but I really kind of like the idea now. It's just kind of a constant, steady focus in my studio. All right, I'm going to be stamping the pelican image again in the soft suede, and I'm filling in this space right there, okay? So I'm going to come down just a little bit because I really want to make sure that it's filled up the space there, and I really like that. And then I'm going to come over here on the flap, and again, I'm going to stamp there, and I love all the detail. I mean, I just love it. Oh, it can make an interesting background. You know what, Miss Linda, you are absolutely right. It's so funny because it's all warped up and crazy because of how much ink is on it now. And I can't use my blending brushes on it anymore because the brushes will pick up paper. I mean, they'll pick up the color, which is awful. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. Okay, let me bring this back in. Oh, and I need to stamp my pelican on the inside as well. Sir, if you bite my foot again, I'm going to kick your butt. He's 9 months old, and I love him to death, but he is still very much a puppy. And right now thinks that it's great fun to bite my toe. Okay, I'm going to bring this in. And I'm going to go just a little below the edge because, as you can see, there's a little bit of a lip here. And when I stamped the first one, it's kind of floating, and I really didn't care for how that looked. So I want it to go down just a little bit so it looks like it's not floating in midair. All right. Now I believe we are done with the stamping. So let's bring all of our bits back in. I'm going to go ahead and put this inside panel in the card just so that it's out of my way. So give it some adhesive here, and so that my phone won't continually try to focus in on it. Here we go. All right. Good. Okay, now that's done. Now, before I do this, I have to put this piece on, and I have to string my ribbon through my embellishment piece. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and grab all of my little tails, and I'm going to go from front to back and then loop back up through from back to front. Okay, so it's going to be just like this. And then when we get ready to tie it on, I'll be able to just manipulate it back and forth how I want it to go. Okay. For this piece right here, you can do this a couple of different ways. One way is that you can get the silicone mat and a sponge and apply the glue evenly and easily. And the other way is if you think you're steady-handed and will not squeeze a hot mess, which I'm going to attempt not to do, then just take your multi-purpose liquid glue, squeeze just enough to get a little touch of glue at the edge, and then just go around the edge very carefully and very lightly. And I'm just kind of touching in spots. I don't care about adding glue on every single stitch of the piece, but I do want to focus at least a little bit in all of the spots that might lift, and especially on the ends, just to make sure that it doesn't lift off at all. Okay, I don't want this piece to lift for sure. I want it to stay put. So we're just going to give it some little touches. There we go. All right. And I think we're good. And then I'm going to line it up over here on the edge, clear down to the bottom, just like that. All right, there we go. Now let me put my lid on. If you use multi-purpose liquid glue, I highly recommend that you put the cap on it as soon as you're finished with it every single time, so that way it doesn't dry. It dries pretty quickly right there on the nozzle part anyway, and you don't want to have to try to fish it out or get it unclogged. So all right, now I'm going to need some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm putting them on either side of the ribbon to kind of sandwich it in. And I have cut my ribbons, or my Stampin' Dimensionals, kind of in half so that I've got some little skinny pieces here. Anna, you're asking if I have a preference of glue. To be totally honest with you, every glue has a purpose, and it really depends on what I'm doing. So when I was attaching the paper layers, I was using my Stampin' Seal, my tape runner. This is my favorite thing to use for big pieces that are gluing flat directly to something, because it's the quickest to use. For fine details, I use the multi-purpose liquid glue. Or for things like the little pelicans, where there's really small right here. I've got one popped up on dimensionals and one flat. This one I glued with multi-purpose liquid glue because it's got the weird shape to it, and it's easier than trying to use the Stampin' Seal. So if it's got a weird shape or it's small pieces, I like using the liquid glue. And if it's big, wide open pieces, I like using Stampin' Seal. So I hope that answered your question. And then, of course, I love, 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 love Stampin' Dimensionals, because I absolutely love dimension in a project. So that goes without saying. I love dimensionals. All right, so I've got one of my die cut pelican pieces here. And I'm just going to put in a few dimensionals to try to get it all popped up. And I just kind of want to do enough that makes it stay upright and not sag. Okay, so you don't have to do a whole lot, and you can kind of stagger them a little bit. But you just don't want them to sag, because sagging is not good. All right, there we go. Now that I have that ready, I'm going to go ahead and take the backings off of the dimensionals here. And then I'm going to place the sentiment piece and then tie the ribbon. And as you can see, I'm kind of pulling the ribbons down tightly because there's so many of them. I don't want them to get carried away. All right, so I want this piece to go right about here, and see that I can still slide my ribbon, so it's locking them in, but I can still manipulate them how I need to. Okay, and then I'm gonna bring them around the card and tie them into a knot right over here. So I need just a little more room. Let me bring that in just a bit more. And there are a lot of tails here to keep track of, but it is so worth it because this is just beautiful, I think. All right, there we go. Now, when I'm tying a bow or a knot, I like to pull it just a little bit tighter so that it's kind of bowing my paper just a little bit. That way, when I secure the knot, my ribbon or my bow isn't loose, because I hate when I'm taking so much time and effort to tie something on, and then when it's finished tying, it's all loosey-goosey, you know, and I hate that. So, sir, if you don't stop chewing on things, I'm going to kick your little tail. Quick. Okay, so now that I've got that done, I'm going to give it just a little cinch here, and that's going to secure it, and as you can see, it's on there pretty snug. Okay, let me grab my Stampin' Seal now, and I'm going to just put this along the back. Right up there, right up here. I'm going to go over the top side here, and then just a little bit there to kind of secure that ribbon into place. There we go. Always check to make sure that your card is still facing upright. Ask me how I know. And line it up right there in the middle. Beautiful. I love it. Okay, give it a good even press. There we go. Okay. Now then I can trim some of these tails up. They're going to be kind of long. I cut these at 18 inches so that I left enough for me to be able to tie it into a knot. But, you know, you could probably get away with doing, I don't know, 17 inches maybe. But to be able to tie it first might be a good idea. So tie it and then trim it. How's that? 18 inches is plenty long enough that you can tie it, so I wouldn't give yourself any more than that. You don't want to waste your ribbon. Okay, there we go. Now that we've got that, and I really like how that looks, I like that kind of wild and free look going on there. Now I'm going to take some liquid glue here. Oh, thank you, Miss Linda. I really think that it worked out good. It certainly goes well with this collection, so. Okay, now we're going to just give a little scribble to our liquid glue here. And this piece is going to cover up and clean up the edge of my paper. So I want to just cover the edge of that die cut and the DSP. And I want to make sure that I'm still within the confines of my card. So I need to make sure that nothing extends past the navy card base. That way it's for sure going to sit inside the envelope. So I've got that. Let me put the lid on there and then pull the backing off these. There we go. And I'm just going to do basically the same thing right here. And I'm kind of overlapping the edge of the little white lines there. Alright, so there we go. There's our card. And of course we have to finish it off with some of those beautiful rhinestones. So let me grab those right quick. And one of the most handy tools ever in the studio is the Take Your Pick tool. This thing is absolutely amazing. If you don't already have it, you need it because it helps you with die cuts. It would help poke the holes out of these spots here where the machine cut through, and it helps you pull bling off of the label. So let me get this one, and I'm going to put it right there, and this one here, put it up there, and put this one right there. Okay, there we go. All right, friends, what do you think? Is it pretty? Do you like it? I hope you like it. I love it, and I really like this collection. I can't wait to be able to play with it just a bit more. Here is the card and envelope itself. Let me scoot this right there, and there you go. So now you can see both. If you guys like it, oh, I'm seeing some hearts. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so glad that you guys liked it. Very, very good. Thank you so much. Okay, friends, I want to thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with me for a while this evening. I hope that you guys have enjoyed, and for those of you who were here for the first time today, welcome and thank you so much. I hope that you will join me again next week. I come live every Monday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and occasionally my post says 7 p.m. and I don't know why. That's a pre-scheduled post that I have deleted a couple of times, but you know, technology is wonderful when it works, and when it doesn't, it's usually operator error. So I'm sure that I'm just not catching something somewhere, but anyway, it's at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and right here in the Stampin' Chic Facebook page. So I hope that I will see you guys next Monday. Be sure to check out my blog at thestampinchick.com, and of course you'll be able to see all of these supplies very soon. And if you're not already a demonstrator and would like to purchase them right now, be sure to sign up for the starter kit before the end of February so that you can get those 2 free stamp sets. So yay! All right, guys, thank you again. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And until next time, bye for now.